Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm Kiara and I'm an illustrator and writer, and I really love spending time in my sketchbook, which is what we're going to do in this video. Over the past few months, I've been doing a lot of these little gouache scenes and studies to kind of practice the gouache muscle, and it's been a really nice, calming, low stakes exercise in between the rush of all the other work that's on my plate. Firstly, I had the launch of my very first traditionally published book, Watercolor Wizardry, and there was so much to do for that, and I kind of just missed painting. And now, with a lot of prep for a big convention that I'm exhibiting at in Artist Alley, there's just so much admin side of the art business to do. So these little gouache studies, low stake studies, have really been a nice way to exercise the gouache muscle, practice my gouache painting skills, and just satisfy the painting itch whenever I feel like painting. So I wanted to share a little bit of the process in this video in case you also wanted to give it a try, and basically show you how to make it as low stakes as possible. Anytime you're doing a study, it's best to study from life or paint from life, whether it's a landscape or a still life or a portrait. But it's not so easy. Just say you wanted to paint a beautiful landscape like this and you don't have any green, you live in a city. So in that case, I like to just refer to a photograph and just copy the photograph. I suggest using websites like Pixels, Unsplash, or even if you can get a subscription to a photography website and use the photographs. But yeah, and I feel this is a low stakes way to, instead of making decisions about composition and color, it's a way, instead of making those decisions, a way to just copy it and try to translate it with paint. So using a photo reference instead of from life, instead of painting from plein air, which is a whole other adventure and takes a lot of effort. This is a low effort, low stakes way to get started with a simple study like this. And another way I force myself to make it very loose and fun and playful is by doing the sketch completely freehand with a brown ballpoint pen. Drawing with a pen really forces me to let mistakes go. Something that I feel was a mistake, it forces me to let it go, because once a mark is on the page with the pen, you have no other choice but to just go with the flow. So with more practice drawing with the ballpoint pen, I found that it became easier and easier to just let go of mistakes, and these studies became more low stakes and low effort and free from any of the creative pressure that I would otherwise feel, because there's so many options to erase and then adjust and then fix. But with the pen, there's just no way. You just got to keep moving on, go with the flow. So it keeps it more fun, loose, playful, even a little sketchy. Sometimes I like to leave some of the pen marks showing through the paint. That's completely fine. It adds character, and it's fun. If you have some really good paper, it's really satisfying to hear the scratching noises the pen makes on the page. It's very satisfying. And I choose brown because I like brown, but you can draw with the blue pen, you can draw with a black pen, a red pen, a purple pen, whichever. It's up to you. The third thing I would recommend doing to make these studies less pressurized and low stakes is to use just 1 or 2 brushes. So I would recommend you use either a flat brush, or even better would be an angle brush. So here I used an angle brush size 6, I think, from Kum Art Materials, Kum, Germany. I really love this brush. It is perfect for creating large, like covering large surface areas, and making detailed points with the sharp end of the angle brush. A flat brush, you might not be able to make as detailed points as you need, because this is a small frame anyways. So an angle brush is more versatile in that. And yeah, so having one brush reduces any decision fatigue. If you have like dozens of brushes to choose from, where do you start and what do you do with the brush? And the choice between choosing which brush to start with and then which brush to do a certain part of the illustration with, it can be tiring and slow you down and take you away from actually painting. So just one brush, the angle brush. And in the beginning I used a French Aqua, a cool brush, because that holds a lot of water. So but I have done it before without the cool brush. So 1 brush or 2 brushes I would recommend to keep for low stakes, low pressure, creative exercises like this. The 4th tip that I have to share with you for low stakes studies like this is to not try to make your study an exact copy of the photo reference. You can change up the reference in however way you like. There's literally no rules. You can change the lighting. Instead of warm lighting, this could have been a night scene. Literally nothing stops me from doing so. So you can take your own creative liberty, even though you are following a reference photo. Trying to make it an exact copy takes a little bit of the fun away. The point is to be loose and playful and try to just exercise painting with gouache and come up with new techniques that you use, understand your process better. And the only way you can do that is by allowing yourself to not make exact replicas of photos. Change it up as much as you can and follow your intuition. In this scene, instead of blue flowers, maybe you can paint red flowers or white flowers or multicolor flowers. There's nothing that stops. You could even add a character here. Maybe there's some people walking on the path. So there's so much you can change from a photo reference. And it is something I would recommend. It's not to follow the photograph exactly as it is. It's to try and make it your own and change up the picture somehow, following your intuition and your imagination. If you would like to know what supplies I've been using here, I can share the whole list in the description of this video. I also have a bunch of tutorials and gouache illustration process on my channel. You can check out my other videos. And that's all for this video. Let me know if I missed out any other tips or tricks to make these kind of studies more fun, more free, more low stakes and less pressure. I hope you enjoyed seeing this process, and thank you for watching right till the end of this video. I have another video that I'm excited to share with you about how to change up the reference a little bit. But yeah, until then, thank you for watching and happy painting.